You won't believe what Canada just did. At the end of 2025, as 2026 kicked off, the world watched as Canada didn't just respond. It outmaneuvered Donald Trump in ways that most people never saw coming. This isn't some minor political squabble. This is Canada showing the world how leadership works when the stakes are sky high. And Prime Minister Carney? Right now, he's effectively the de facto leader of the free world, standing tall as a symbol of resilience, strategy, and principle. I want to dive into this because what Canada did over the past year is nothing short of remarkable. And I have to start by acknowledging some incredible voices on the ground.
Welcome. Thank you for taking this time, this at a crucial moment in this process. Under President Zelensky's leadership, we have the conditions, the possibility of a just and lasting peace. But that requires a willing Russia. And the barbarism that we saw overnight, the attack on Kyiv, shows just how important it is that we stand with Ukraine during this difficult time, and that we create the conditions for this just and lasting peace and a true reconstruction. And I want to underscore something that has happened in recent weeks, is that the development of that possibility under your leadership, and also the prospect of true prosperity for the Ukrainian people. I'll just finish with one point on Canada. We've provided military assistance, further military assistance. We're announcing today further economic assistance for Ukraine, $2.5 billion worth of economic assistance that helps unlock financing from the IMF, from the World Bank, from the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, to begin this process of rebuilding. We have an important bilateral meeting and then a meeting virtually with our colleagues from the coalition of the Willing EDOFA.
One of the biggest highlights for me this year has been meeting Charlie Angus and the team behind Midas Canada. Their work has been extraordinary, bringing stories, insights, and first-hand accounts of how Canada struck back and stood strong in the face of unprecedented pressure. Charlie joins us from Parliament Hill, the heart of Canadian democracy. Behind him, the Peace Tower rises tall, and the eternal flame burns, literally a symbol of Canada's endurance. It's not just a flame, it's a statement. Canadians won't be intimidated, and they'll fight to protect what they believe is right. Now, let's rewind a year. At this point in 2025, Canada was facing internal uncertainty, political instability, fractured leadership, and an unprecedented barrage of attacks from the Trump administration had left people nervous.
Dear Mark, Prime Minister, dear journalists, dear Canada, thank you for your support, first of all, and thanks for your words that you mentioned about this tonight attack. It was really very difficult, hard attack. Russia launched more than 500 drones and dozens of missiles. And thanks for air defense for our part, that's not enough. And this attack is again Russia's answer on our peace efforts, and it's really showed that Putin doesn't want peace, and we want peace. And he's the man of war, but he afraid to speak about publicly. But we see the steps, and what we need to stop this war anyway. And we need two things: pressure on Russia and sufficient strong support for Ukraine. We'll speak about it. We will speak about air defense, and it's really last weeks we had good steps in diplomacy.
Yes.
But we can't live in the illusion that it gives us possibility to have less air defense. With Russia, it doesn't work. So thank you very much, Mark, for this meeting. We will have bilateral, and as you said, we will join our European friends. And tomorrow I will have, I hope, very important and very constructive meeting with President Trump.
Very good.
Thank you,
everyone.
MAGA Maple, a right-wing movement modeled after Trumpism, was surging in polls. Prime Minister Carney had just been tossed aside by his own party, leaving the government in disarray, and then Trump came for Canada. But here's where things get interesting. This wasn't about tariffs or trade deals. This was an attempt to destabilize an entire nation. Ridicule, economic pressure, misinformation. It was all part of the plan. And for a moment, it seemed like the odds were stacked against Canada. But Canadians did something extraordinary. They didn't fold, they didn't panic, they rallied, and they redefined what it means to fight for your country in the 21st century. Over the past year, we've seen the effects of that resolve. Canadian boycotts hit American whiskey and wine markets hard. Tourism dollars were redirected inward, supporting local businesses and strengthening the Canadian economy. And on the world stage, Canada isn't just surviving, it's leading. The country has shown steadfast support for Ukraine, deepened relationships with European allies, and proved that leadership doesn't require shouting. It requires consistency, strategy, and moral clarity. But make no mistake, the next year is going to be just as challenging, if not more so. Project 2025, Trump's broader plan to consolidate influence across North America, is still in motion. Canada can't assume the pressure will ease. There are forces within Canada that are being influenced, amplified, or outright manipulated to weaken national unity. And the U.S., under Trump's chaos, is still unpredictable. That's why Canada's unity, resolve, and strategic thinking will be tested again and again. One of the most telling moments of Canada's leadership came from Prime Minister Carney's diplomacy with Ukraine's President Zelensky. Unlike Trump's erratic handling, rants, misstatements, and missed opportunities, Carney's approach was precise, calm, and principled. Canada pledged $2.5 billion in economic assistance to Ukraine, coordinated with the IMF and European partners, and reinforced military support. Carney's message was clear. Canada stands with democracy and peace, and it won't be swayed by opportunistic leaders or intimidation. The reaction from Ukraine was equally telling. Zelensky expressed gratitude and emphasized that continued support from allies like Canada is vital. This isn't just political posturing. It's concrete, impactful leadership that strengthens international stability while challenging authoritarian overreach. And let's talk about the domestic front. Carney's leadership has crushed right-wing challengers like Pierre Poilievre, stabilizing Canadian politics and showing that strategic, steady leadership beats chaos every time. Carney has made it clear, Canada is never becoming America's 51st state. Trade disputes, diplomatic pressures, or even threats, Canada will meet them head-on, elbows up when necessary, and never bow. This is a bold declaration of sovereignty and principle, and it resonates deeply with Canadians and the international community alike. The imagery here is powerful. The eternal flame on Parliament Hill isn't just a tourist attraction. It's a metaphor for the heart of Canada, resilient, enduring, and unwavering. And after a year of challenges, it's clear. Canadians are tougher, more unified, and more determined than ever. What started as a moment of uncertainty has transformed into a display of national strength and global leadership. So,
America is not Canada. And Canada never, ever will be part of America in any way, shape, or form. Look, we didn't ask for this fight. We didn't ask for this fight. But Canadians are always ready when someone else drops the gloves. So the Americans, they should make no mistake, in trade as in hockey, Canada will win.
What's next? The road ahead isn't easy. Canada will face economic, political, and cultural tests in 2026. Internal divisions, external pressures, and the ongoing instability of U.S. politics mean Canadians need to remain vigilant. But if the past year has shown us anything, it's that this is a nation capable of standing up against the odds, defending its values, and leading by example. At the heart of it, Canada's story isn't just about resisting external pressure. It's about proving that principle, unity, and strategic leadership matter. Whether it's supporting international partners, protecting domestic stability, or simply sending a message that chaos won't dictate policy, Canada has set a blueprint for modern leadership. So, as we move into the new year, remember this. Canada is not just surviving, it's thriving, standing strong, proud, and free, proving that when the world faces uncertainty, true leadership shines brightest. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing. I appreciate you.